everyone, good afternoon. Well, it's coming up evening now. Welcome to Hair Stress YouTube channel. I hope you guys are alright. I hope you guys also had a blessed weekend. Today is going to be an educational video. I had one email sent to me, my first official email sent to me about doing a question and answer information about alopecia. Right, I'm going to do a short understanding of excuse me, alopecia, and then I will demonstrate everything to you on paper. So I will be reading on paper, and I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just going to read it on paper what I've researched. Now, to my understanding, alopecia is a disease that occurs within the autoimmune system, which creates low follicle traction for hair to then follow to grow. There are 4 different factors of alopecia. There's not just one. So for those of you who are not in the hair industry or have the theatrical understanding of hair, alopecia is not a one-word disease. There's 4 different types of alopecia. Now, with alopecia, it can come in forms of being hereditary or it can occur. The percentages of it being hereditary is at least to 5%, meaning that not because that person has alopecia, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will have it. So, for example, I'm a mom, and my child's dad, is there. We both don't have alopecia, but it happens that my daughter, heaven forbid, has it. So you know me, I'm like, which is a prime example of what can occur and what can happen when someone has alopecia. It doesn't necessarily mean, guys, that because they say it's inherited or whatever, it doesn't mean that if you're pregnant at the moment and you're suffering with alopecia, just bear in mind, doesn't necessarily mean your child will get it. I'm not putting it at a miss, but a possibility the baby can have alopecia, but it's not 100%. So the 4 different types of alopecia are stated in full description. Now, there is alopecia areata, there's alopecia universalis, and there is alopecia totalis, and then there is I can't even pronounce it properly, but excuse me, alitraction alopecia, something like that. And then you got tension alopecia. Tension alopecia is, you know, what we do with our hair when we slay and we cream, when we curp up all kinds of hair. So basically that's what it is. But I will be reading out, I've been reading out the research version of each steps of alopecia. I've written questions out on a piece of paper because my brain is like a sieve at the moment, so I'm not very great with remembering questions. So the emailer sent me questions that she wants me to answer. It's not a lot of questions, but they're very simple questions, but I have written into full details of brainstorming as much as possible of the different types of alopecia, right? And with the first question being, what is alopecia areata? Now, alopecia areata considered an autoimmune disease in which the immune system is designed to protect the body from foreign invaders such as virus and bacteria. Mistakenly attacks the hair follicles, the structure from which hair grows, that can lead to hair loss. In most cases, hair falls out in sizes that is small round patches about the size of a 2p piece. So, you know, 2p or 1p varies. The stem cells do not seem to be targeted, so the follicles always has the potential to grow back. So with the alopecia areata, that is more of a temporary disease that can actually does not require any treatment. You can actually grow back your hair naturally, because as it says, alopecia has a tendency to attack all rounds of the hair, basically get rid of the hair that's on the follicle, but doesn't necessarily mean it went in depth of the follicle, which means it closed it for where the hair can't regrow back. So basically the hair loss is temporary, but the hair will grow back. If you suffer with alopecia areata, just bear in mind it depends on the immunity. So even though I'm reading this out, doesn't necessarily mean that your body is going to say to you, yes, your hair is going to grow back. Sometimes it doesn't, even if you're diagnosed with alopecia areata. Next question was, who's most likely to get it? Well, scientists has predicted 2% of British people of both sexes and all ages, ethnic backgrounds, is often begins in childhood. It often, but not necessarily. It intense in childhood. It can happen in old age as well. It's very popular in childhood and in old age, especially in the elderly where the hair loss is happening. That's with age. You understand? So you class that as alopecia totalis. Yeah. The next question is my hair loss a symptom of a serious disease? Guys, just bear this in mind. Alopecia is not a serious disease. It's just a hair loss. It's just a hair loss symptom that occurs from time to time within lifestyle, your health, stress, mental health, everything. So it's not a serious disease, guys. As scientists will say, no, alopecia areata is not a life-threatening disease. It does not cause any physical pain. So you won't feel anything, darling. Just bear that in mind. Right, the next question is, can it pass on to my children? Like I said earlier in the video, there is situations where it can affect your children, but it doesn't necessarily mean it is. It's not been ruled out, but it's not a mandatory situation. You could have alopecia, the father could have alopecia, but doesn't necessarily mean the child will have it, basically. But this is what was said. It is possible for alopecia areata to be inherited. However, most children with alopecia areata do not have a parent with the disease. So guys, don't worry if you are pregnant and suffer with alopecia. As I said, your child does not necessarily have to have it. What causes it? From my understanding, I could say it could sometimes deal with your mental health or your lifestyle or your overall general health. From what I used to research, it can also do with your diet and your immunity as well, and what you eat. Because sometimes what people don't realize, what you eat can actually affect your hair and your scalp regulation. I always say to my clients, massage your scalp. It helps blood flow and also enforce protein to help grow your hair and give you the healthy hair possible. That's what I do with my daughter's hair all the time. When I do her hair, I just massage it in, massage. Right. As what researcher says, alopecia is not like some genetic disease in which 50-50 chance of developing the disease if one parent has it. Scientists believe that there may be a number of genes that perpetuates certain people to the disease. Now, that's what scientists wants to say, but it all depends on the genes, the immunity, and the diverse system. Now, guys, I only got a short minute, so I'm going to read out the different types of alopecia, and then go through descriptions, and then give you a short description about how and to look after yourself. Right, there is androgenic alopecia, which is a understanding term of male pattern baldness, and also female pattern hair loss, which is triggered by the female estrogen and testosterone hormone levels, which causes the hair loss, and also overrounds with the potential of can lead to permanent hair loss. Alopecia areata, which is patchy hair loss, autoimmune disorder, which causes the body's own immune system to fight healthy hair follicles. So you can do all of that as well. There's theatrical alopecia, I said it correctly now, which is the understanding term for scarring alopecia, where the hair follicles are destroyed and replaced by scar tissue. There are also primary and secondary now, which is the two differences, where with the primary theatrical alopecia, the hair loss is caused directly by inflammation of the hair follicles, and secondary theatrical alopecia refers to scarring hair loss, which occurs as a result of an event or a process unrelated to the follicle. So it can be hit and miss within them regards. And then you've got alopecia universal, where the hair loss can occur on the whole entire body, including the eyebrows. Little Britain star Matt Lucas suffers with alopecia universal. So he has no hair on his head. You'd have thought he was battling cancer, but no. He has developed the disease with being universal alopecia, which he got, which is not nice. Now, with alopecia totalis, is basically the hair loss which is alopecia areata, can progress to the entire scalp. So the entire scalp can be affected where the hair is completely lost and there's no chances of the hair growing back. So guys, these were the little information that I've got. I only got a short amount of time left. Any more questions you guys got regarding hair loss, any other educational information you want to know about hair, and any other things you want to know, don't hesitate to email me. I will put everything under the description box, my email, and furthermore a description. I'll put the labels and the logos, everything where you can find these information about alopecia and when you can do your research. It's really nice to know that you can do your research. So guys, please don't hesitate to email me if you have any inquiries. Make sure you email me and I will my best to respond. But overall guys, I hope you guys have a blessed weekend, and